Today is October 9th, the eve of me moving into a room in a apartment. Um, that right there, that right there, that right there is prime. That right there is prime. A few days ago, I got myself a prime. Essentially, prime is at Westside Drive-In. It's 10 ounces, but a double prime is 20 ounces. For some reason, I was going to wait until I achieved a PNL number that reached my target. But it seems like at the mental capital, trading is about being successful at something, but not on a PNL level. PNL will come forward later. What is most important is focusing on the system. And it appears that the system has achieved a level of competency that is a success. Climbing Mount Everest, not too many people on Earth have done that. And it was more difficult for people who went up there the first time. They didn't have the proper equipment that we have, the synthetic materials that keeps us warm, and the concept of being climbing with an oxygen and climbing without an oxygen. There are foods that we have developed that provides us nutrition and that sustains us while climbing up Mount Everest. The reason why this is so difficult is because those who achieved the top level, like Sir, what's his name? Up from Britain. Henry or something, Sir Henry or something. So when I achieve that goal, it's not an easy thing. And see, I just forgot what I was going to say. So the reality is, I'm laughing at myself because I'm old. Okay, I used to be young, but I'm old. And the reason I showed this prime is because I bought it a couple days ago. And after work, I sat here and I munched on it as much as I could. But I could not finish. And then a day later, I ate a little bit more. No, I didn't eat anything. I didn't eat the prime yesterday. But today I ate more. But that's what's left over. So what I will do is I will eat that a little bit later when my digestive system has taken a hold of it and processed it. So the reality is, there is a saying called the elephant, and one of the things is one of the statement is, how does an ant eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And that reminds me of that prime. That prime, by the way, is delicious, the best in the world. And I'm eating it, even though it's the most delicious thing on earth. I cannot finish that in one sitting. So I'm thinking to myself now, how is that related to this behemoth of this day trading thing? As I discover more and more and more, I realize how difficult it is. What I have a feeling though, after I expand and understand and become more and more aware of what's really going on, what will be most important is essentially just me, the self-consciousness that gets to the heart of, just like the orcas. Orcas will hunt down great whites just to eat their liver or something, and then they'll hunt down like whales that are 20 times bigger than them just to eat their tongue because it's a delicacy to them. It seems to me that what is so blatant out there in trading is encased in just like a walnut. You know, walnut falls from a tree encased in meat, and that meat people don't usually eat them. And then it is covered in a hard, very tough outer layer, and then inside that layer there's a coating that is also encased in it, just like the brain. And what is inside is the morsel. So essentially, the information is out there that tells me this is how it's trading. It's so blatant and so obvious, I cannot see it unless I go through the process of sifting through everything and saying, oh, I looked everywhere. I think this is what it is, but I'm not sure until I go through, sift everything through, and then determine what it is. So how do I eat an elephant? It's like having a needle underneath a haystack. One haystack at a time, and then finding that morsel of liver or a a tongue or climbing Mount Everest. So it is also a great thing that I am in this place. I'm in this situation because if there was an easier way out, I would have gotten out already. I would have said, hey, F this. I ain't doing that. I am not putting me in this situation any longer. If you can just imagine what's going on here, okay? The elephant in the room. That's what it is. The elephant in the room. I'll let the elephant in the room out. The reality is, trading has been the most excruciating pain that I've ever suffered. It has. My mother passed away. My children left me. They flew the nest, they're gone. They didn't even leave a contact number. My ex-wife, second time around, had left. I lived in a shelter. One of my eye is completely blind. And memory fails me. I'm old. I've gotten old and I have limited amount of time. My engineering community has shunned me. I have a felony criminal record that my own siblings gave me. And to add to the insult, I was blocked from talking to my own mother, and she passed away. Trading, if I was given the opportunity to enter into the engineering community, I would have a long time ago. I was sitting at church today contemplating, should I get a suit so that I can get ready for an interview, so I can just leave the most difficult challenge that I've ever faced. My own former manager that I communicate with at Microchip, I feed him information, just give him the status, and so far I have not. I go up and I go down and I go down. I to him right now, probably I'm like spinning my wheels, and the only thing that I'm acquiring is suffering and pain and anguish and reducing my lifespan. And this is probably why it's so difficult. It reminds me of the movie Gattaca. It reminds me of the movie Gattaca. It really does. These two race to swim to see how far they can go. One of them turns back because he's fearful that he might drown because he'll get tired. But the other just goes. And that the distinction between those two individuals is one of them makes money and one of them doesn't. The one that is fearful and returns do not make money. But the one who goes and goes without knowing that that is it. There's no return. So maybe God has placed me in this situation because he knew that if something was easy, I would just take it. God has placed me in this situation where there's no way out whatsoever. The only way for me to eat that elephant, climb that Everest, okay, sift through that haystack to find that needle in the haystack, to reach that goal of 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 becoming who I said I will do, even though on a daily basis I would falter and not do what I plan to do. Maybe that's the key. So let's let the elephant out. It's sitting on my plate, and I'm going to finish that. In a few hours, my stomach will have enough room to fill that, and I will finish that elephant. Enough said.